Welcome back to the channel. Today we have got Richy Vida in our Manchester shop for a quick interview.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't already know Richy Vida, he is a YouTuber, a very popular YouTuber that we support through MyMoto. So he's been creating loads of content. If you go on any of his latest videos, you'll see the MyMoto branding on there at the start, which is it's great to have that kind of partnership.
It's lovely to be part of it, mate.
So we thought I'd get you in and ask you a few questions.
Yeah, fire away. I'm happy to be here. Thanks very much for having me. Well, considering there's a shop about 5 minutes away from where I live, I chose to come to this one.
All the way through, and the traffic getting into Manchester, never great.
No, it's been fine.
So I think we start at the beginning. How did you get into bikes?
Wow. Right back at the beginning. Well, I've been riding probably as long as I remember, just being a kid. I remember my older brother had quite a funny story actually. My older brother had a Honda 90. And my dad had a couple of old bikes, and we used to just like go in the fields and stuff. And my dad bought me a Honda 70.
Right.
So I couldn't ride. I think I'd say 10, but I'm probably younger than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, learnt to ride on this Honda 70 through the fields and, quarries and stuff like that. And absolutely fell in love with it as a kid does with that kind of thing, petrol and bikes. Yeah. And I always remember never daring to have a go on my brother's 90 because I was scared of the power increase
difference.
over the 70 to the 90.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not ready for this yet. You're not ready for this yet, lad. But yeah, so I've been riding as long as I can remember, and taught myself to ride on a Honda 70, and then jumped straight off that onto a motocross. So I had KX125, KX250, nice. And that's obviously a massive step up, obviously.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it. It's just for a kid, it's just magic. You're getting that freedom. I mean, I don't know what it's like in today's world. It's different from when we were kids.
Yeah.
You probably can't really get away with dirt biking through fields and stuff these days, but
you need someone who can take you as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, thinking back to when we were kids, we used to probably, young toe rags, we used to not ride through the village, but I would get my motocross with I'd have all the motocross gear on. Never once raced or anything, but I had all the gear, protective gear and everything, and body armour and stuff. And I used to get my bike through the village into the fields, like I'd push it where I'm not supposed. Yeah. When you think now, if you see that, you expect someone's nicked it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But at the time, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Rich again on his bike." No one's bothered.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it'd be like these days. But yeah, I've been riding as long as I can remember, and just love it. Just love it to bits.
Yeah.
Sense of freedom, especially when you get out on the road as well. That's another one I didn't really know existed until you get on your bike and you get off, into Europe or somewhere like that. Not even into Europe, but even, away from where you live and you're lost. It's just a weird sense of freedom that I always say to people, you're welcome to one of the finest clubs you can be in, and to a freedom that you never know existed. And you really don't until you can witness it for yourself, and you're by yourself. You've just got your lid on, countryside, and just nothing. It's just amazing. The other night, and I still do it to this day after everything I've done. The other night I went out to do some golden hour sunset shots.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Found myself in the middle of nowhere, and I just pulled up. Saw a shot, pulled up, and just perfectly quiet, no traffic, nothing. And I just turned the bike off and I just sat. I just sat there, taking photos, but I just sat for probably an hour, just enjoying being there,
Being there.
Yeah. And then thinking, I best get a move on now then and go back home and start doing some editing. I've got loads of work to do tonight, Can't sit here all night, but yeah, I just love that. You never know where it's going to take you. And just to, really, I really appreciate everything to do with the bikes, where it can take you, what experiences you can have from it, the people you meet doing it. I just love everything about it.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't follow your channel already, what bikes do you ride at the moment?
At the moment, I've got my beloved VFR 800 that I've had forever.
Why is it beloved?
Because
remember, some people might not have seen the.
I'll tell you. I'm genuine, honest, wear my heart on my sleeve, always have done, always will do, and I'm sentimental. as sentimental as they come. And again, when I first got that bike, on about the freedom, and I remember speaking to someone, I had no idea about road bikes whatsoever. I mean, no clue. I'd had, you know, cut my teeth as a kid. Then as soon as I became of age, I went into cars, enjoyed cars, and then completely forgot about the bikes and forgot
Convertible BMW?
Yes, I had one of them, yes. It was wasting stupid amount of money.
That shows how far back on your channel I've been.
I know, bloody hell. Yeah, wasting far too much money on that kind of stuff. But just completely, for no reason, just left bikes. And I just, it was almost like I forgot about them, you know. Nothing happened or anything. And then, you know, fast forward a few years and I thought, you know, a bit of spare cash, I'm going to do my motorbike test. Because my dad, I kind of did it for my dad actually. He lives in Liverpool. I live in Derbyshire, and he'd always come to see us on his bike, on his own. He's not really one to go, you know, on trips or anything like that. He's got no riding buddies. And I just thought, I'm going to do this as a surprise for him.
And turn up on the bike.
And turn up on the bike, yeah. And so I did it all completely hush-hush. But I remember speaking to a mate of mine and said, what bike shall I get? He's like, there's a million of them. What do you mean? What are you into? I says, well, I don't know. What? I've got, you know, X amount of spare cash sat there, not a lot, but I want to do my test and I want to get a decent bike. He says, well, there's so many different genres and different kinds. It's like, are you, for instance, are you wanting like a, you know, one-piece leathers and going on a racetrack? I'm like, oh no, I'm not interested in that. Maybe one day, but I'm not interested. What I'd like is a bike that looks nice, that can go fast if I want it to, and that I can go to Spain on. And he just suggested the VFR, and I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And the more I looked, the more I fell in love with it. Bought one, and that's exactly what I did. So
straight from your test, you got that bike?
Yep, exactly, yeah. Straight. Well, like... I did my mod 1, bought the bike, then did the mod 2. So the bike sat in my garage, waiting. You know, and I'd go in every night, stroking it, you know. I get going a bit. And anyway, so I passed my test, and, you know, everything's all above board. And anyway, I went to see my dad just randomly. It was funny because I pulled up on his drive because I told him I got a surprise for him. I pulled up on his drive and he opened his window. He's like, "What the bloody hell are you doing on that?" As if to say, he were telling me off because he said, "If you get caught on that,
you're in trouble."
You're in trouble. I'm like, "I've passed my test." He's like, "You what?" He says, "Is that my surprise?" I says, "Well, no, not really. There's a bit more to it." He says, "Well, what's my surprise?" And I said, "Oh, and he got a ZZR 1100 at the time. He loved it. Never been anywhere on it. Put no miles, you know." He said, "What's my surprise?" And I said, "Well, I want you to clear May in your diary." He said, "What are you on about?" I said, "Clear May in your diary." He said, "Why?" I said, "We're going to go to Spain on these bikes." He's like, "You what?" I said, "Yeah, we're going to go to Spain on them." And, you know, I had no idea how to do it. I just knew I wanted to go far and wide, you know. And I just thought, how amazing would it be to be able to say you've, you know, been to Spain? So, yeah, we had a month through Europe. Went down to my uncle's place in southern Spain. We landed, docked in Bilbao on a whichever morning, and rode all the way to southern Spain in the same day. You know, my dad's going, "How much further we got to go?"
Going for it.
Yeah, just going for it. Yeah, and like I said, we had a month through Europe, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it, and. Yeah, so the VFR, since, you know, I've been to Croatia, I've sat and photographed the midnight sun at the top of Norway with a tear in my eye. I remember sitting there at the top of Ondernes, right at the very tip of the Lofoten Islands, thinking, this isn't normal, is it? Everyone else were asleep in the tents. I'm sat with my beautiful VFR at the side of me in the sun at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like way above the horizon. It just comes down, not even really touches it, just hovers over the horizon and straight back up, and it's just so eerie because no one's about, only the odd tourist, you know. And I just remember thinking, you don't get to see this every day, do you?
No.
You know, and then just looking over at my bike, thinking that's all that. You know, just having a bit of a dream to go somewhere and do something, and it's just, you know, a bike that didn't break the bank.
Taking
and I just,
a chance. And
absolutely love it to pieces. And then I thought, you know, where can I go from here, really, with it? Because can't get any better than this. And then I just had this weird thought that it would be cool to see you rode across America on it. So then I came home from Norway and started
not,
looking into
not
that.
hire a bike. I'm going to get my bike.
Take it with me. Yeah, just to see if it's possible. Then brill. And I started looking into it when I got home from Norway. And things have probably changed a lot now because this was 2015, 16 when we went across America. But I remember getting home and looking into it, and to crate it and go on a ship, it was taking like 6 weeks or something. I thought,
how are you going to cope with that?
I can't be without it for 6 weeks. So maybe that is just a pipe dream. It'll have to stay like that. And then the more digging I did, realised that you could use the cargo space on a plane. I'm like, and then you can fly on the same plane as it. I'm like, hold on a minute.
So it's there when you leave and there when you...
Well, you ride to the airport like you'd putting your suitcase on, but your bike's being put on, And I organised it for 5 of us, and just amazing to be able to watch your bike being loaded onto a plane with suitcases. And a trip of a lifetime, and rode all the way across.
Was there a lot of preparation involved in getting the bike on a plane? Like you having to drain all the fuel, all the oil?
Well, you'd think so, but the strict rules were you must arrive at the cargo area with less than a litre of fuel in the tank. Right. If there's any more, then we won't take it.
Yeah.
Or you've got to mess about draining it, and we don't want you to be draining fuel at the side of... So basically, figure your mileage out and arrive with less than that. So I was so worried that it wouldn't be right, because I organised the whole thing for all these other guys and all the paperwork that goes with, putting a bike and there's a mountain of it, so I'm thinking if I've missed something, I was just panicking the whole time. Basically, I didn't show it on film, but I was just panicking the whole time, just worried for everybody and security and safety and all that. But essentially, you just have to arrive at the cargo area with less than a litre of fuel in, disconnect your battery terminal yourself and tape up the terminals. Good to go.
So
and leave your top your panniers and things open. Oh, and you've got to write this is funny. You've got to write an itemised list of everything that's in your luggage, even down to one pair of biking socks in the left pannier. That was a little bit over the top. You didn't need to do that because they didn't check any of that. But again, I was relaying these instructions to the guys, to make sure.
And you don't know if you hadn't done something right, they could have just turned around and gone.
No, so as you can't go. So then I'm like, and then so once we flew into Canada and then rode down into Niagara Falls. Imagine that first night. Yeah. So we've just done this mammoth task. We're now at Niagara Falls that you've seen a million times on a million films on your own bike. Very late at night, way behind schedule because of customs dragging their heels, clearing us at the airport. Just almost, I was in tears nearly, almost in tears nearly every day because I just think, what the hell? How the hell has this happened?
Have we got here?
Yeah, and like now, for instance, I look at my VFR in the garage and I still ride it. I just panic when I ride it now because I really don't want to do anything to damage it. I love it to pieces. But now it still shocks me. I look at it and I just think, how's that been at the Grand Canyon?
Which is why you'll never sell it.
Never. Yeah, never. But I've since got back into, again, forgot how much I missed the off-road riding that I learnt to do as a kid. Yeah. Went down to a place in Spain as a group trip thing. I'm not sure if I can mention it. You can soon chop it out. Toro Adventure, yeah. And riding BMWs and I had not really any interest in adventure bikes at this point. And part of that trip is off-roading on them. Yeah. Or trail riding, and I just thought I gelled with it again straight away. It was just like putting on an old glove, and I'm like, I forgot all about this. Yeah. So then since I've, enjoyed and really I completely adore adventure bikes and getting the road less travelled and doing all that, I absolutely love it. And it makes you feel alive, when you're kind of thinking I perhaps shouldn't be here, and I don't mean legally but danger side of it.
I could get stuck.
Yeah But then figuring it out and sorting it out, I love it, absolutely love it. So I've got at the moment I've got the VFR, I've got the Africa Twin, my second Africa Twin. Absolutely adore that bike. I always say that as well. People like to moan about oh, he's got one of these, there's loads of them about, or he's got one of them and that's better than that, and that, you know, the top and bottom really is every bike today is really good.
GS versus
yeah,
debate.
yeah. I mean, it's healthy debate, I suppose, but you know, the truth is, there's no bad bikes. They're all good, and it's all your personal taste.
Yeah, taste.
You know, and I always say, you know, a certain bike fits a certain person. Me, the VFR, I get on that, and I just feel right on it. You know, I feel perfect. And same as the Africa Twin. I remember the first one I had in on as a press bike to review. You know, within 10 miles, I thought, oh, hang on a minute. You know, I was getting something from it. You know, the characteristics, and I think the intro on that video is completely genuine, not set up or anything. And you could hear I would almost giggly because I was so excited. You know, it unlocked something. You know.
Yeah.
And so I've had a few. I've had a couple that I've owned since then, but being able to go off and do these trips on these bikes, I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love the Africa Twin to pieces. and then I've got a garage full at the moment with different press bikes. I've got a Moto Marini X Cape. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, it looks lovely. Yeah, kind of a budget bike. But so I've got that in at the moment. I've got the Triumph Tiger 1200 GT Explorer, bit of a mouthful. And I've also got another white VFR in my garage that we'll come to in a second. But that's very important.
You had a Triumph 675? No,
765, yeah, the RS Street Triple.
So did that get exchanged for the Tiger?
Yeah, so they came and whipped the Street Triple R, replaced it with the Tiger, and then I think in a couple, which I've come here today on, and then in a week, I think the Tiger's being swiped, and they bring in the RS, RS Street Triple. So, I've got no shortage at the moment of bikes to enjoy.
Which to ride.
I know, yeah. Like this morning, I was stood in there going, what kind of mood am I in? I'm thinking, well, this one's going to be going soon. Plus, I've just washed my Africa Twin from the Wales trip at the weekend. So
that's clean.
Yeah, and I'm like,
the VFR's too precious.
Too precious, yeah.
You wouldn't want to
Manchester.
You wouldn't want to be filtering through Manchester traffic on that VFR. Definitely not.
I hate filtering anyway. I can't stand it. I know some people don't bother, but I can't stand it. I do it, but I don't like it.
I mean, I've ridden quite a few times in and out of here, and not every day, but there is the everyday commuters who we get coming past the shop, and the cut throughs and overtakes. You see them
any gap they can see, they're in.
They're in.
I just
and they just know it because they're in it every single day. They just know that traffic.
What they can get away with. And
well,
not for me. Not for me. I'm a country boy through and through, and I want to stay there. Oh dear.
So was the America trip how the Wildbad Touring kind of started, or was
no,
it prior to that?
that came, yeah. So going back to when I went through Europe with my dad, again, I just got I knew it was, that should, I've always been a musician, right? And I've always done that, and I've always thought, this is what I should be doing. You know, when you get a natural feeling for something, this is what I should be doing. Yeah. Which I still do, you know, but the touring thing, and again, getting off the wanderlust thing, and you know, taking photos in different places, and it just felt right. And I thought, I want to make something out of this. You know, I want to make a business, and I want to create something. You know, a community and that. And
there's other people out there who enjoy it the same as I'm going to.
Exactly. And you know, and I was not thinking of it as a like I could make some money out of this at all. You know, it was just what was in here. I thought I want to be able to create something that I'm proud of, that I can share with other people. And if it gets to the point where someone wants to come with me, you know, and I'll do all the legwork for them, then brilliant. You know, we'll worry about that if it happens, kind of thing. And I remember the name Wildbad came from, again, we were riding through. Have you ridden in the Black Forest? Yeah.
Have I ridden in the Black Forest? I haven't ridden outside of in UK.
Have you not? No. We need to bloody remedy that. Then,
I know we do.
We need to remedy that. I
talked about this with Teapot on his brew time. Yeah. So I need to do more. Like the probably the furthest I've gone is the Isle of Man and done a week in the Isle of Man. Yeah. But this is you went. I'm jealous of your approach because you went straight to I want to travel. Yeah. I grew up with my brother racing bikes, and I wanted to get a fast bike and go on twisty roads. Yeah. So and living next to Derbyshire. Yeah. That.
We're very lucky.
And then I got kids, and I started going and obviously watching YouTube and stuff. And I started realising the opportunity I'd missed from before I had kids. Yeah. And now I'm like, I can't really
The,
do
the
those long
time
trips.
thing, yeah.
But it will come once you get older and
Yeah.
be able to find that ability to go and travel. But
Ah, brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah, you definitely,
It will be happening.
but again, we were talking earlier about everything has its own space in time, and you know, when you mature, you appreciate things differently, don't you?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, had we have had all this when we were snotty teenagers, you wouldn't appreciate it anywhere near as much as what we do now. So when you do, it'll mean so much more to you for
When it
waiting.
happens.
Yeah,
when I get that
definitely, yeah.
opportunity. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the Black Forest, we were going through the Black Forest. This is, like I say, in 2012, I think it was, and it's a really stupid thing. This is where the name came from, Wildbad. So we were going the B500 Baden-Baden. We pulled up for a break and we're looking for the campsite.
Right.
Now then, what was the campsite called? Camping Kleinenshof. How do I remember that?
I'll be looking that up.
Yeah, and it was just a weird thing, right? And I remember the instructions to the campsite. It were basically telling you how to get there, and it just said, "Go up this road, take a left, blah blah blah. Do not go to Bad Wildbad. If you've gone to Bad Wildbad, you've gone too far, basically."
Yeah.
And I just remember this thing in my head as I was trying to find the campsite, going a bit delirious because I've been on the road for such a long time, you know, and.
Looking out for
Yeah,
Wildbad.
and I was just saying this stupid thing in my head, going, "Do not go to Bad Wildbad," you know. And anyway, so this is where Wildbad came from. This is a place in Germany called Bad Wildbad.
There's a fork in the road about 100 yards up there. One way takes you into free land, the other side takes you into bad Wildbad. Nobody wanna go to bad Wildbad.
So, you know, came home from that trip, realising this fire that were in me. And then the year after we went to Croatia, and during that trip, I got talking about this Bad Wildbad thing that I was saying. And that's when I realised that that's what I'm going to call the company, Wildbad Touring, you know, and that's where it came from. Or Wildbad it should be. But,
Which has now become more than just touring, because you've got the Wildbad weekend.
yeah, again, made, I think the first one was 2016, the year we were going to go to America. Was it? Yes. Went to America in the October, did the first Wildbad weekender in June, something like that. Again, I just thought, part of the creating something.
The community.
Yeah,
element to
community.
it.
And I just thought, I wonder if anyone would be up for it, you know, coming on a camping weekend. And I think about 30 people signed up for it. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And one of my mates who rides with us, Egon, he kept saying to me, I kept saying, mate, 25 people have signed up. He's like, cut it off, that's too many. And, you know, fast forward a few years and now it's grown into its own thing. You know, we have bands, marquee, caterers, you know, tons of people from all over Europe come to it, trade stands, you know, stunt shows. It's really become something special. You know, we do a big group ride to welcome you to it. So we all ride in together to this big, what we call the Wildbad Village. Got an absolutely stunning venue. It's really special. I'm very, very proud of it. Yeah.
Well, we're going to be, obviously with the link with you, we're going to run a MyMoto stand of some sort.
Yeah, what's it going to look like? Tell me.
That's up to Teresa.
Right, is it?
You know Teresa.
Yeah.
Hopefully your followers know Teresa as well now.
I've just realised something. She likes baking cakes.
She loves baking cakes. Some MyMoto cakes, you think?
Yes. Do you think if we keep
we could get it printed
subliminally,
up,
like dropping the, you know,
the little round MyMoto logo on the top as a little decoration. She'd love
she'd do that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would. Yeah.
There might be some tasty cakes to have at the weekend as
She
well.
loves the exposure, does she?
Oh, brilliant!
She loves
That's it,
yeah.
yeah.
She loves being on camera.
Well, we love it. Yeah. Yeah. Go in and see her and tell her that we sent you, and that you'd like a cake at the weekender.
So
please do keep saying that.
Teresa runs the Clay Cross shop. If anyone who doesn't already know, which is where Richy, that's like your local bike shop.
Yes, I live about 10 minutes from that shop, so really glad that I rode for 2 hours to come down to this one today. It was actually my decision, actually.
You know, the first hour and a half was probly glorious, and then that last half hour getting into Manchester.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Snake Pass, lovely. Yeah.
We do have a lot of people travel, so ride quite a long way to come here.
Yeah.
And it is just that last 10 minutes really.
Just getting in, yeah.
That last bit.
Well, it's like I was saying to you on the phone, you know, so going off your navigational instructions this morning on the text, I thought, oh, I'd not need my sat nav for that. I'll just do what you said. And then I got to a point where I thought, sure, I've seen this once already. I don't know what I'd done, but I'd gone, you know, round and round in circles.
We get quite a few people who come on the train as well.
Yeah.
We've got Piccadilly Station, just 10 minutes walk.
Oh, okay. That's handy, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for if
Christmas
they're buying some
markets,
stuff.
Buy some gear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, brilliant. It's a very impressive shot, mate, I've got to say. It's the first time I've seen this one, isn't it? So
yeah. It's a good size. It's a good size.
It is.
I think we've possibly got the largest stock of Day and Easy products in the UK, I'd say.
Wow. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do for us at the weekend. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And for everybody else coming to it. Yeah, brilliant.
So,
wildbadweekender.com should you decide you'd like to come. End of July.
End of July.
Yeah, we've got a big lake in the middle of this venue, and if the weather's nice, we can swim in it.
Yeah. Paddle boards.
Paddle boards, yeah.
Is there an off-road section?
Yeah, there's yeah.
So
We've yet to figure it out exactly, because this is the first time we're having it at this super new venue.
Yeah.
But we've got exclusive use of the whole land for the time period. You know, as long as we behave, which we will, because we're all nice people and yeah, well behaved. So yeah, but we've got use of the woodland. I've just got to create some form of
trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without, you know, making too much mess or upsetting anybody. Because I definitely want to go back there next
So
time.
it's going to be very much like an ABR for Wildbad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For your followers.
That's the thing. Yeah. And you know, we're doing things as you grow. Obviously, you've got to go through certain things to be able to learn from them, haven't you?
Yeah,
you know, like up until now, with the numbers we've had, I've always paid for the caterers. To, you know, to serve at a certain time.
All laid on.
Yeah, all laid on. Yeah. So basically, you just go and help yourself. But you know, as the numbers have grown, so have the queues.
Yeah.
And then I went to the ABR festival last year, and I was like, "There's 10,000 people here. Why is there no queues?
Yeah.
There's no queues."
Yeah.
And I realised it's because the caterers are there all the time, serving all the time. So if you fancy a burger at 10:30,
you can just
go and get yourself a burger.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done this time. We've got, I think we've got a fish and chip van. We've got a street food van. We've got a barbecue, you know, full burgers, full on barbecue.
Roast,
And then we've also got a coffee vendor, because a lot of people have said over the years, "Oh, I'd love to have a proper coffee." We've got them there as a proper, you know, proper for those that love proper coffee. Yeah. Plus, you know, everything else that's going off as well. We've got stage, we've got giveaways. I mentioned earlier.
Entertainment on in there.
Yeah, bands on, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we always give like loads of products away, and we do a raffle, raise money for a charity. It's been blood bikes up to now, which probably will continue. But yeah, this year, I mentioned earlier on, there's a white VFR in my garage, up for grabs at this year's Weekender. Yeah, and it's an 09 plate.
Right.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
13,000 miles. It's like new, basically.
Yeah.
It'll be fully serviced, fully, panniers and everything ready to go, and literally for the price of a raffle ticket,
you could win.
That's yours. Yeah.
And
like we did it a couple of years ago.
Well,
yeah. It's only going to be. I've had excuse me. I've had a lot of people saying, "Can we buy raffle tickets now?" I'm like, it's not open
to everyone.
It's only open to the Weekender as a loyalty thing for coming to the Weekender. So the only person that's going to win it is inside that marquee.
Yeah.
And we did it a couple of years ago with a VFR. And a young guy, you know, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like,
just gone for a weekend and come back with a bike.
And he said, "This is my first ever, like, I've come with my dad. This is my first ever, like, bike trip kind of thing, and I've won a bike." And he's still riding it now, and that's amazing. That's the whole point. But you know, you'll win it to do whatever you like with, you know. And I'd love to think that whoever does win it would go off and enjoy, you know, what the bike's made for. You know, to go and enjoy the great outdoors. You know, but essentially that'll be what, a $5,000 bike for price of a $5 or $6,000 bike. But I don't know what prices are these days at the moment.
They're going up and down a bit.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But and it's fully, you know, it's mint. It's absolutely. I'm so excited about this bike, you know. And in a like a full circle turn of events, the bike that is up for grabs, this white VFR, it was owned by a friend of mine who bought it to come on our Croatia tour in 2013, which is 10 years ago.
Right.
So he came on that tour. There'll be a link down in your description, I'm sure, for this tour.
Yeah.
And he bought that bike to do that tour.
Right.
And he's I don't think he's used it since. It's just been sat in his garage. He's a busy guy, you know.
Yeah.
And he's threatened to sell it every year. And I said, mate, just whenever you want to sell it, let me know, and I'll be able to, you know, with my community,
we'll do something.
We'll be able to get rid of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like, actually, I don't want to sell it. And it's gone on and on and on. And then the very first Wildbad Weekender, so I'm panicking because I've got these 30 people to lead that I'd not done at this point. My bike had gone into the garage, my VFR had gone into the garage to have some, or like service work or something, and something happened.
Yeah.
And it was running horrible.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I had to ask him if it's all right, and I used this white VFR for the very first Wildbad Weekender. Yeah, so there'll be a photo to give away, and he's also coming to be able to hand the keys to the new owner. And I think it's amazing.
That'll be good.
It's amazing to think that it's gone full circle, you know, and someone might have seen that, you know, riding through Croatia and maybe with us at the first Weekender.
Yeah.
That I were riding, and then you know, it's not been used since at all. It's just been sat there in his garage. So, you know, like I say, it's had.
And that kind of mileage on a VFR is nothing.
Oh no! Well, mine's 95,000 now, I think, and mine still feels as tight and as precise as it's ever done.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, 13,000 mile.
Nothing.
It's not, nothing at all. I know people say that, well, it's barely running, but really, you know, mine's done 90,000 mile and it feels amazing. Yeah. So, this bike, if you look after it, it'll be a pride and joy. Yeah. And it's so lovely to be in a position to be able to do it. Because the other thing is, when he said he were going to sell it, I thought, right, okay, so I've bought it, and now I need to raise the raffle money to pay for it. To then raise money for, blood bikes or whoever, to raise money for charity. But that's the whole point. You know, essentially, you're going to be there for the price of a raffle ticket. Whether you choose to buy 1 ticket or 20 tickets, it's up to you. Obviously, the more tickets you buy, the more chance you've got of winning it. But and then it's just randomly drawn out on the Saturday night on stage. You know, that's it. And you know, you don't necessarily have to take it home from the weekend because you'll have arrived on one, but you know, we'll deliver it to you after the fact, as long as you're not in, you know, France or somewhere like that. And then, in which case, you'll have to sort it yourself.
So, what influenced you?
Which?
To start filming on your rides. Do you like the use of?
No, that's a really weird word, isn't it?
Influence.
Yeah. And it's now got a bit of a.
What brought you around to videoing?
It's got a weird stigma, that as well. Now, the influencer thing. Now. You like that? I'm like, no. What started me?
That was perfect.
You've written that in, haven't you? Perfect. Things like that don't go unnoticed.
No. I'm not an influencer.
Yeah, watch this. Watch how he takes this. This will poke him. Again, when I first started doing it, VFR riding round. There was no way I was going to be spending money on, you know, this new action camera thing that's, you know, they're not really a thing then. You know, there were videos on YouTube on bikes, but it was all people being, you know, like in America, like wheeling through villages and being idiots, basically. And I didn't start it to make. I didn't want to become anything like that. I didn't want to.
Just for the joy of riding and filming.
I just wanted to enjoy the countryside. I love photography, and I just love riding. So I went for ages before. I kept fighting the urge to spend, you know, a couple £100 that I didn't have on an action camera. So I was trying all sorts, like buying cheap cameras off eBay, and I remember like sticking them down inside my lid there, to where, you know, your eyeballs are there and I can't see a bloody thing. And I'm like, this isn't right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy one, you know. And I bought. I don't even think it were 150. I don't even think it was 150 quid. I can't remember now. But so I bought one and just, you know, put it on my lid. Went for a steady ride through Derbyshire. You know, took some photos and just had a nice feel video that makes me feel good, rather than I weren't showing it to anybody, or I wouldn't.
For you to capture and watch.
Just back. For me to, and just something that made me feel nice, you know, to watch it back kind of thing. And it ended up just getting a bit of traction. And I thought, oh, people are enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'll do another one. Made another one, and you know, that were a lot of years ago now. So I kind of
You were there.
fell into it. Yeah, fell into it, and now it's just I adore it. You know, and when you again, it's still going back to that creative thing, but it's giving. If I knock a video together that's, you know, got a start, middle, and an end, and it's a bit of a story.
Yeah.
People always say that you like your storytelling. I don't really realise I'm doing it, but it's just how I create it, you know. And I call it a parcel of beauty. You know, if I can deliver a nice parcel of beauty that's a video for you to sit there with a beer or a cup of tea, and you know, escape from your daily lives just for half an hour or whatever. Then brilliant, you know, and to get comments off people that have, you know, said things like that where, you know, I've completely just escaped with you for this next, you know, this hour or whatever it's been. Yeah. You know, and like I say now, over the years, I've taken people to a lot of different places, you know. So
I mean,
I just love it.
Going back to the influencer thing, that's more of an Instagrammer thing.
That's where that came from.
Where what you're doing is more entertainment. It's not.
Yes.
It's not. Look at what I've got.
No.
This is what I'm doing, and kind of follow me on the journey. And
yeah,
enjoy
and I think my format, again, without realising, it's just kind of manifested into it. People always say that it's not like that. Like what you just said there, it's not like, look what I've got. It's you're with me, like almost you're riding with me.
Coming along.
Yeah, you're coming along for. I'm taking you somewhere, and we're doing this together, kind of thing. And that's just how I deliver it, and that's just how I like, you know, how I like to do it. I don't try to be anybody. I don't want to be like anybody else. I want to be me, and I want to just do what I like to do and make exactly what I want to make, you know, and be proud of it at the end of it, you know. So yeah, there's no finer feeling when you come back and you've finished an edit off a trip that's, you know, somewhere amazing, or even if it's just your local bloody chippy or something, you know. But if you've created something that can give someone a bit of, you know, entertainment, whether it's, you know, comedy side of it or poignant or something, you know. Again, like I said before, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and, you know, someone sent me a message recently saying, you do get quite emotional, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit that at all. I'm you know, I'm the kind of man that can let things affect me if you know, a certain song or a place or a scenery, or, you know, I can if it touches in here, then it'll come across.
Rather than
definitely
try and hide the facts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should just let yourself be like that, you know. Let yourself be present in every moment you possibly can be, really. But yeah, I just love it. I love it to pieces.
So out of the videos you've done, obviously doing YouTube videos, some you predict when you're doing it, this is going to be massive, and then there's others which you just throw something out there. Which out of all of them has been the most overlooked video, and which was the one that you kind of just threw it out there? It was whether it be just jump on the bike and do a half-hour video, and it's just gone blown up.
Yeah, well, the first thing there is I never kind of think, regardless of what I'm doing, I never think this is going to do really well.
Do well, yeah.
Because you can't be that, like, up your own arse, really, can you? Because how do you know?
Yeah.
You know. But like some episodes, for instance, I'll finish, and at the end of it, once I've finished editing, I'll render it into the final file, and then I'll watch the file as a viewer rather than a editor.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to dissect it. I'm just watching it as a viewer. And, you know, some of them I'll get to the end and I'll go like, I did not expect that to be that good.
Yeah.
That's bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
So then you put that out, and it's kind of like, yes, all right. So, but then others that you kind of knock together in 2 minutes and think, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
I'll edit this. I don't even know if I want to put this out. It's not that. But then people love it.
Yeah.
So you really don't know how a video is going to go.
Yeah.
You know, like this. Can we talk about this for a sec?
Yeah, of course.
So recently did the Outer Hebrides in January. I've got this weird thing, again, going back to the wanting to go off, you know, into the wilderness and just see what happens. You know, kind of started doing these solo January winter tours, just enjoying being by myself really. And this year I went to the Outer Hebrides, January, and everything about it this year in particular were saying, don't do it. You know, people from up in Scotland were messaging me saying, you better brace yourself if you come in, because there's severe warnings everywhere. You know, there's going to be 17 centimetres today, 17, just don't. And I thought, I've got the time booked, you know, and I just thought, I don't want to, you know, put this effort into something that then I've just got to go. Ugh.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to set off and I'll get to where I get to. If it turns bad, I'll turn around and
You've still got out on the bike.
I'll enjoy Yorkshire.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. So I stuck to the plan and I just kept going further north. And then, you know, the weather turned so bad. And again, even with all that snow, to the point where I was thinking, this is game over. Never once did I think, this is going to do amazing. Never once did I think, this is great viewing.
Yeah.
I was just worried for my safety, genuinely worried. And I was honestly thinking, because I told people I'm going to the Outer Hebrides, I'm going to explore the Outer Hebrides. The year before I went to the Shetland Islands, and I had amazing weather, like 12 degrees, for saying it was January, lovely and mild up there, lovely. And I enjoyed most of the Shetland Islands up and down, you know. So the plan was to go and recreate that. People kept saying, oh, I bet it's not going to be a patch on your North series, the Shetland series. And I thought, well, you know, I'm going to go and enjoy it. I've never been to the Outer Hebrides, so I'm going to go and try it. And everything was against me. So a lot of the time I was thinking, I've got nothing for this.
Yeah.
You know, I've come this far, I've got nothing. I'll probably just make, I don't know, one super quick episode to show people what I've done.
You tried.
Yeah.
Turn round.
Yeah. And, you know, I managed to get onto the Hebrides, and this is the only day I had no snow. So I thought, I'll have a walk today, because I was knackered from, you know, the mental strain of working my way through all the snow all the way up there and ice. So I had a walk on this day and just basically enjoyed having a walk. Again, thinking, I'll take the camera, I'll film a bit, but I don't know if it's going to be any good, but at least I'll film something and I can probably make something of it.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I thought, right, now I'm going to go and have a ride, because I was in Stornoway here. I thought, I'm going to go and have a ride through the Isle of Harris.
Looks cold.
It was bloody freezing. I'll have a ride through the Isle of Harris, but again, I got caught in a massive blizzard.
Right.
And I had to cut it short, so I just turned around and went back to my cottage and stayed there. And then the anxiety of thinking, I've got to get all the way back down home in one piece.
Yeah. You've got as far as you go in.
The weather was just as bad, predicted, coming up. Yeah. For going back down. So I was panicking, to be honest, and I just kept the cameras rolling, and you know, what happens. I got home and I thought, even sitting down, knowing what I've got in the bag, even sitting down to edit, like, right, let's just import all the footage and see if I can make something of it. And weirdly, this has done incredibly well.
Yeah.
Incredibly well, you know, and I'm getting so many people constantly messaging me about it that have only just discovered it from all around the world. You know, it's unbelievable. And like I said, at the time, I had no idea
that it was
I honestly didn't think I really had anything, you know. This is sending me. There's no wonder it's done so well. Look at that. What an idiot. Who would do something like that? Bloody hell.
Must have got a bit sketchy at times. Like, more than when
that moment there.
This is when you're having to go and get the ferry, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm 10 minutes away. Otherwise, if it was like an hour away, I'd have just said, nah.
Can't do it.
I'm thinking, it's 10 minutes, it can't be that. I can do this for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then...
They offered to come along with you as well, didn't they?
To lead the way, just in case anything happened. But, like, I'd never been so anti-ride at this moment. I just thought, I don't want to put this on.
Yeah.
Fastening my helmet going, I don't want to put it on, because this is just... It's like lamb to the slaughter, isn't it? Like, this is bad.
Yeah. It's the likelihood of it going wrong was high.
And throughout the whole trip, in my mind, you know, if you drop a bike anyway, a big bike, bugger to get up.
Yeah.
How are you going to pick it up when
It's
you're on
just
snow and
gonna
ice?
skid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just push
Either
it.
you skid or
pushing
it
it to the
skids.
next town, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pick it up.
You're wearing Richy gear in this.
Yes, I would sing from the rooftops about Richy stuff.
It kept you warm.
Warm and bone dry. I think I've been wearing Richy now for a good few years.
Right.
It's amazing,
Because it's Richy's something we've just started to stock as my
brilliant,
motor. So,
brilliant. Like I said, I would happily sing from the rooftops, and I have done many times on the channel about it. It just will not let you down. It's, I've been through so much, Iceland, through rivers and all sorts, tried and tested thoroughly,
Yeah.
completely warm, completely bone dry. Like, even to the point sometimes it'll be that bad. I'll say to myself, when I pull up, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to have a look in the mirror just to see if I can see anything.
Yeah, see if there's
because you
anything
would see it on something like this.
Yeah.
And it's never once one time has it let me down. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And that's the only thing, like now, years gone by, you'd always be like, oh, I've got this trip planned for Monday, but weather's looking, oh.
Yeah. And
So you start panicking and
I
worrying
don't want to
about
get
it.
cold, I don't want to get wet.
Yeah.
But then if you've got the gear,
Exactly.
you don't get cold.
Yeah,
you don't get
and
wet.
now I honestly could not care less what happens with the weather. It's just
Nothing's going to match up to that, surely.
Exactly, it's not going to get worse,
It's
is it?
not
than
going to
that?
get worse than
no.
that.
So, and
I mean, any worse than that, you are stuck.
Yeah, before the snow, so on the way up to Scotland, just torrential rain, torrential rain. Lorries were coming past me and chucking water all over me, and I was just giggling because I'm like, this is bizarre. I'm not one bit wet.
Yeah.
Like, how can there be this much water and I'm not one bit wet?
That was one of the
you get to where
funniest
you're going
scenes, innit?
and just shake your
When
jacket
that truck
and it's
goes
dry.
the other way,
Yeah.
it just covers you.
And I just laughed because it was like a nervous, weird laughter. But yeah, exactly that. And I will say that Houdini jacket it's so comfy, and that is, we're probably talking, well, it's at least 0 degrees there. And that's only a thin jacket, really.
So this
you think
is a
about
destination layer that goes under the jacket.
Under the jacket,
under
yeah.
the main jacket.
And so I went for this walk, and I just thought, I might just take that jacket. I'm not going to put a big jacket
buy a
on.
jacket
I'll
on
just put that
without
on if I get cold, because I think I was staying probably, not here, but probably,
Up there.
up here somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not a million miles from where I was staying. And that jacket's honestly so, in fact, I've got it with me, so comfortable and thin, but warm.
But warm, yeah.
Not one bit, and it don't let any wind through either.
Yeah.
Because I didn't put it on the camera or on the video because I didn't want people I didn't want people saying that's not very safe.
Yeah.
I actually rode the bike from there to the local shop to get some tea.
Right.
No rain, and I just put that on.
And just
it's literally over there, and I just
tootle
thought I can't
down.
be bothered to put my
Yeah.
big, So I just put that Houdini jacket on, and massively surprised that it's just completely windproof.
It's a wind blocker.
Yeah, completely, and I was perfectly warm.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to. It's not ideal to ride in that because if
No.
you come off, you're in trouble. But
Yeah.
just for reference of
how
how
warm
good
it
it
is as a-
performs
as a layer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, special trip that was definitely, and I'll never forget it because I was so worried the whole time. That's the little cottage I stayed at, and I was just worried because I thought, I am so far from home,
Yeah.
and I've endured so much already.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get home unscathed, and the constant thing in my mind was, we all know how heavy these big bikes are.
Mm-hmm.
If you drop one on snow and ice,
How are you ever going to pick it up?
how are you going to pick it up?
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, one of these episodes, is it this? I can't remember if it's this episode, but it's done at the moment, nearly 500,000 views. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But going back to one that you'd hoped would do better. So this one isn't even the best one of the series, I don't think. I think the episode 4 is where I go to Balmoral and up over Glen Shee.
That's when it
and
gets
the left.
really icy and
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
But
And
this is the one that gets
this
the
is the one
views.
that's got the views, yeah. And I'm very grateful. I just wish people had watched the other one because that's the one that
watch the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that's to me more impressive, I think, than this. But it's still, the other thing is once I've done my proof watch, so I'll edit, render,
Yeah.
proof watch, upload. Once I've uploaded it, it's gone. I don't watch it again.
You don't go back to it.
I'm on to the next one.
That's why you're having moments watching
Yeah,
this going,
because
"Oh,
I've
what was I doing?"
not seen any of it since I did it. So it is a bit, yeah, it is a bit bizarre actually
to see it again.
to see it. Yeah, that was a very cool spot. Look at that.
I watch all my videos over and over again.
Yeah,
in
sit
the hope
there
it gets more views.
watching your views tick up a
Yeah.
bit. Anyway, what do you have to do to get a cup of tea around these places?
Well,
I bet Teresa would make me a cup of tea if she were here.
should have a cake for you.
No, I'm joking. I'm not joking. I have.
Did she say anything after you put on your Instagram about, pop in, Teresa's got cakes, and
I think she.
I think she did it.
She mentioned
did make
something,
some cakes, didn't she?
Yeah, but
that was for the
a customer, I think.
coronation.
Oh yes, that's it. Yeah, coronation. Yeah, that's when I first realised that she likes doing that.
Yeah.
So I kind of let it. You place the seed, don't you?
Yeah.
I love cakes. I do. Anyone know where I can buy a nice cake? So it's like place the seed. So hopefully, yeah.
So that's
Hopefully at the weekend, sure.
Teresa from Claycross. Obviously,
Yeah.
we got the Manchester shop, and we've also got a shop in Leeds, which
I've
not
yet
been
to visit.
yet.
Yeah, yet to visit.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah, but the Claycross one I love because it's 2 minutes from where I live, and Teresa and Lorraine are lovely, and
you've got a
always
car
get
park,
a cup of tea,
coffee.
Yeah, and what we tend to do there is, whenever I'm ever having any ride outs, whether it's a tour or even just a day out somewhere or a chippy run or whatever, I'll always just get everyone to meet there because you've got tea and coffee. We can chew the fat and see everybody, and you've got anything you'd possibly want when you come in.
Yeah.
And then we'll go off on our ride from there, kind of thing. So it's really handy that.
I mean, when you did that, you did a ride from there was it 3rd of December? It was early on in December.
Oh, when we had more ice.
And we had like the odd person coming in who'd forgot the snood and
yeah, exactly, yeah,
buying a neck tube or
exactly. Whole point,
grabbing
yeah,
something before you went off. So.
yeah, exactly. Whole point, isn't it? Because we all forget things from time to time. So
Don't we just?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think that's.
is that about it?
I think that's pretty much everything.
I'm just getting going.
Well, there'll be plenty more opportunities.
Yeah, good.
In the future, hopefully.
Yeah, I would like a cup of tea though. If there's
Wildbad
any-
Weekender. I'll be there.
Good man, yeah, yep. Are you working or?
I'm going to work it, I think. Yeah,
Good stuff.
help tea out with it.
Oh, brilliant! I'm really looking forward to you guys being there for that. Definitely.
That'll go next, and then this will go. Dink, dink, dink. So yeah.
Shall we sign it off then before
yeah.
before all the cameras do leave us?
So thanks for watching this episode or this video we got on YouTube.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it very
And
much. I do.
If you don't already follow Richy Vida on YouTube, make sure you go over, subscribe to his channel, watch the different series he's done on the America series.
Oh, there's loads. There's loads of stuff.
Norway, Iceland,
Ireland.
yeah. There's loads.
There's loads of series, and I always kind of, when I do a series like that, it's kind of, there's a few episodes to each one, and it's designed to take you on a journey from the beginning to the end. So, if you do.
Some have a bit of a roller coaster. Like
Yeah,
Hebrides did.
exactly.
Norway was a bit
yeah.
of a roller coaster.
Yes, definitely, yeah. I will say, some of the older videos might have a bit of colourful language that's not in any of the newer ones, so do bear that in mind.
Yeah.
I had a daughter in 2016, so before then I didn't really care, but now that's the last thing I wanted to hear.
You just
hear me
naturally
say.
start to filter out when
You
you've got
do, yeah,
kids,
you do, completely, yeah.
And then someone will come along who drops a word and you
Yeah, when
the shock of it, like,
exactly.
did you just say that in front of my kid?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, oops.
Oh, timing.
That'll be the end.
Timing.
That'll be the end of it.
Well, he can't talk to you now because his mic's just dropped out, but I think what he was trying to say is thanks very much for watching.
Well,
You're back in now. You're back in.
You're done. You wrapped it up. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right, cup of tea, toilet, gone.